Hi, this is Laura Roberts. I am going to go over the PowerPoint that I made on the paper that I wrote called The Church of Ephesus and How Did a Church Arise in a Pagan Nation? Okay, I want to go over some facts about the city of Ephesus. It was a very popular city. It was the most prominent city in Roman province in Asia, the third most populated city. There were lots of influences from different cultures in this city because of where it was located. It was located on a port. There were lots of travelers that would come in and go through the city of Ephesus, which caused many influences. It was also well known for the pagan worship, particularly the worship of a Greek goddess named Artemis, or also known as Diana. This was very popular. This is what they did. Not only were they known for worshiping Diana, but black magic was also on the streets. This was brought over by the Egyptian travelers in the area. Uh, it was on the streets. It was well known. Pagan worship and black magic were a normal part of the culture in Ephesus. So we can see why Paul was on a mission to get to the people of Ephesus. His first attempt was stopped by the Holy Spirit. Uh, the Bible doesn't tell us why, but we can speculate that maybe it just wasn't the right timing for Paul to step onto the scene. Meanwhile, there was a bold Jewish missionary by the name of Apollos who landed there before Paul. He was so bold in his faith that he was able to convert disciples with what he knew of the gospel. There was just one problem. He was only aware of the baptism of John. Apollos had no knowledge of the Holy Spirit. So Apollos had met up with Priscilla and Aquila, who were tent makers who traveled with Paul previously. They were able to teach Apollos everything they knew of salvation and of the Holy Spirit. So Paul finally makes it to Ephesus, and thankfully he can start ministering to disciples right away due to the foundation that Apollos and Priscilla and Aquila have laid down in the city. Not only that, but Aquila and Priscilla may have very well started the very first church in Ephesus in their living room. Due to their income, they were probably able to afford a big enough home to have a church. Paul stayed in Ephesus for over 2 years, preaching and teaching to anyone who would listen. He was known as the Christian philosopher. The seeds planted by Paul and the rest of the missionaries who had gone to Ephesus are starting to bear fruit. People are being saved. Lives are being healed. The persistence of Paul's preaching is being felt throughout the city. This is also due to Paul having 2 years of unopposed ministry. In those 2 years, people were being converted and healed. Ephesus becomes a birthing center for many churches in nearby cities. Paul's ministry, along with the other missionaries there in Ephesus, was so effective. The new converts were so committed to their new faith that they decided to bring their magic books to burn publicly for all to see. As you can imagine, this caused a scene. Not only that, but the economy also suffered a hit as it was dependent on the sale of a pagan shrine as a source of income for many. With this threat came an uproar in the city that caused a great riot. Thankfully, Paul was already on his way out. He already had everything set up for him to leave the city of Ephesus. His job was done. That ended Paul's stay in Ephesus. Although Paul had to leave Ephesus, the church had already been established. The dedication and the teamwork of Paul and the rest of the believers was unbelievable. In God's timing, a great door had been opened for the gospel to be preached, and many churches were birthed because of this. Much can be learned for today's church from the start of the church of Ephesus. With a real move of God, we can expect opposition. It will happen, it will occur. But the good news is no power of darkness can stop what the Lord has in store for his people and for his church. Thank you for watching.